Hi guys, welcome to a brand new episode of AB, and well, it's kind of ironic that for what I'm about to talk about tonight for a show called AB and the Films, but there will be movie soundtracks involved in this, so on that note I guess it counts. And I'm sorry about this light, by the way. That lamp is really, really bright, the lamp I'm using here. Well, sorry guys, there's nothing playing right now that I really, really want to see. Except for a certain Valentine's Day movie that's coming out in about less than a month. So yeah, we're all hyped to see what I have to say about that one. But until that comes, I was trying to think about what to do for a new episode because I haven't done an episode in a long time, and that's because I've been sick, guys. I mean, that virus is really going around. I mean, like, first I had a cold, then it went away, then it came back, then it went away, then it came back again. I mean, like, I've been sick as a dog, like, the last 2 months, guys. It's not a joke. But I feel good enough to do an episode tonight. So, what are we going to talk about? What does this title mean down here? Well, for those who don't know, I did, my family's watching the Grammys in the other room. I'm not watching that. Sorry, guys. I don't like music of today, which you'll find out later in this video. About 5 or 6 years ago, I did a little vlog about the CD collection I have that you see up here behind me in every episode. That video did relatively okay. It wasn't an AB in the Films episode, but it was just a vlog, you know, of what CDs I have. But because that was about 6 years ago, that CD collection has multiplied, and I've gotten many more CDs since. So I thought, since I talked about the VHS collection and the DVD collection, I'm going to talk about the CD collection. And don't worry, there are movie soundtracks in this collection, so on that note, it kind of counts with movies, because most of this is just music, so it's AB and the CDs tonight. So anyway, we're going to discuss it. I already took some of them down, which I'll show you. So I'll show you guys what CDs I have, and basically, like, this is what I consider music. I mean, guys, I'm a huge... Like, I criticize music to the core, and I know music is subjective. It can mean anything to anyone, just like movies. It's art. I really don't like the music of today, guys. I just don't. It's very rare that a song will come out that I like. Basically because everyone that I like as a music artist is either dead, retired, or just singing the same songs that they've been for the last 40 years. Like, I don't know who anyone is today, really. I really don't. So I'm going to talk about the CDs I have and all these people I love. I'm a huge fan of every one of these artists I'm about to show you. So let's get into it. Here we go. First one on the list is Led Zeppelin, right here. This is the only Led Zeppelin album I have. I don't have any of the other studio albums. I got this for a birthday gift when I was 14. It's pretty good. It's got most of their solo, no, not solo, greatest hits. It's 2 CDs here. This is the early years, and these are the later years. Favorite Led Zeppelin song? That's a hard one, guys. That's a hard one. But if I had to pick a favorite album from Led Zeppelin, I'd probably go with Led Zeppelin 4. Not because Stairway to Heaven is on it, although that is a great song, but it has When the Levee Breaks. It has The Battle of Evermore. I think that album had 4 Sticks on it too. Like Led Zeppelin 4 was just a great album. It was so good. So that's my Led Zeppelin collection right there. Okay, don't criticize me. I got this back when I was, I think, about 9 or 10. I don't play it every year. It just sits up there. Kids Bop Christmas. And I gotta tell you, I was duped by this. When I got this, I thought that all these songs here were the original artists singing them. I didn't realize it was going to be kids singing it. So when I brought this home and played it on my CD player, like literally as soon as track 1 came up, I'm like, what the heck is this? And from that point on, I never really played it that much ever again. So, yeah, that's Kids Bop Christmas. Never play it. Okay, here's a couple of movie soundtracks. Yeah, the Shrek soundtrack. I've had this. I got this for my birthday. I think about 2 months. Well, it's funny, you know, the movie came out. No, I got this for Christmas. Christmas 2001. Yeah, because that's when the movie was coming to video and everything. And if you guys know me, if you've seen the childhood movies episode that I did for EB in the Films, you know this movie. I was 8 years old when the first Shrek came out. Every kid had to see Shrek. We all love this movie. It's great, and the soundtrack's really good too. Oh God, so many great memories of watching this movie. I play that soundtrack and boom, I'm 8 years old again. It's amazing. Alrighty. Alright, now we're getting into the Beatles. I'm a huge Beatles fan. Have been ever since I was 9 years old. And here's a movie soundtrack. Yellow Submarine, the movie soundtrack, right here. This is the, and I have the original 1969 soundtrack, which we'll get up. It's coming up. This has pretty much all the songs from the movie. You can pause right there and read that. Yep. So here's that. That's Yellow Submarine. And here we go. Here's the Beatles. Please Please Me. With the Beatles. A Hard Day's Night. Beatles for Sale. This one was my favorite growing up as a little kid. All of them are my favorite. Beatles for Sale I played a lot. Help. Rubber Soul. Let me get the rest of them. Okay. Revolver. Sgt. Pepper. Magical Mystery Tour. This one's my favorite. The White Album. Yeah, the White Album's great. This is going to be 50 years old in November. Wow, man. There's Yellow Submarine. That's the original. Let It Be. And the finale, Abbey Road. Alright, and I got a few more Beatles right here. This is Past Masters. I got this about 5-6 years ago. This has all the songs that never made it onto the United States releases. Like, again, if you buy any of the studio albums, you'll quickly notice where's Hey Jude, where's Revolution, where's Day Tripper, where's We Can Work It Out, where's Rain. They're all on here. They're all on here. All the songs that got left, Don't Let Me Down, Old Brown Shoe, Ballad of John and Yoko. Yeah, it's all on here. And this is a double, and I like the way this opens up. It opens up like this. Hang on a second. Yeah, I like that. That's pretty good. And the CDs are in here. They come out that way. So I like that. And the Beatles Anthology. This has Free as a Bird on it, which was the new song that came out in the 90s, 15 years after John died. With his voice on it, and Paul and George and Ringo. Here's the second Beatles Anthology, and here's the third Beatles Anthology. Now, if you guys don't know, these Beatles Anthology CDs, they have all the songs that we all know, but what they are is it's the Beatles writing them and recording them in the studio. So some of the songs that we all know might sound a little different. They might sound a little slower. They might sound faster. Some of them have different lyrics. So if you're a Beatles fan, it's interesting listening to this. So if you're a Beatles fan and you don't have this, I strongly recommend you guys get this. This is good. It's really, really good. And the documentary was great too. I've been watching that since I was 10. I love the documentary. Okay, let's get some more. Let's bring them over. Let's get them. Here we go. All right. Double Fantasy. John Lennon's last solo album. That came out when he was alive, 3 weeks before he got shot. This came out. This is the only Beatle solo album I have from one of the Beatles. Double Fantasy's pretty good. That's a good album. I do like that. Okay, now we're getting into Billy Joel. The Stranger. This was his 5th album, and in my opinion, this is the best album he ever did. I love that album. Every time I play that, every song on that album just says 70s summer music. That's all I can think of when I play that album. It's great. River of Dreams, great album. Piano Man. Glass Houses, I love that one too. Turnstiles, this one had New York State of Mind on it, which is a good song. Stormfront, We Didn't Start the Fires on here. I Go to Extremes, that's a good one. Cold Spring Harbor, that's his first album. That has She's Got Away on it. Street Life Serenade. The Entertainers on there. Last of the Big Time Spenders is on there. Great song. Great album, too. Nylon Curtain. I love that one. And The Bridge. The Bridge is really good. That's it. That has a lot of good songs. I still need about like 3 or 4 more of his albums to complete the collection, but other than that, those are the only ones I have, but I'm going to get the rest of them. Okay. Let's keep this going. Alright, here we go. Now, for those of you that have seen my Nickelodeon episodes, you knew I had these. The Naked Brothers Band, the first album. I like the songs, guys. I Don't Want to Go to School, the second album. And the third album, Throwbacks. All the songs from Season 3 are on here. So, yeah. I love the songs, guys. I'm also a big fan of that guy with the glasses.com. Well, technically it's channelawesome.com, the Nostalgia Critic. I bought the CD. And by the way, when I went to go meet him, and I did an episode about this, it's autographed. I don't know if you can see it there. It's kind of hard to see it, but he signed it. Doug Walker signed it right there. My phone's ringing. I'm going to have to get that later. This is a CD that my teacher made, Jeff Bruckner. I don't know why I still have this. I never play it, but one of my teachers in high school had a band, and he made a CD, and he was handing them out to his students. So I have that. Okay, Elton John time now. Tumbleweed Connection. I bought this just because Amarina's on it. I just love that song. And also Burn Down the Mission is on here. I love that song. Don't Shoot Me, I'm Only the Piano Player. That's a great one. That has Crocodile Rock's on that, right? Yeah. Teacher, I Need You, Elderberry Wine, Skyline Pigeon, Daniel. Oh, those are great songs. Okay, now I want to explain to you guys something. I was originally, much like Billy Joel, trying to get all the albums. I was trying to get all the Elton John albums. And this is back when I was like 12 or 13. I started picking these up, 13, 14 years old. I started to realize Elton John has like 30 albums, 30 studio albums. And I'm like, you know what? That's way too many. So I just went out and bought this, the greatest hits. Which is good because I play this one the most because this has all the greatest hits on it. This is a 2-disc set, and you can see the songs right there. You can pause and see what songs are on there. So that's Elton John, 1970 to 2002. So that's Elton John. Here's the Kids' Choice Awards from Nickelodeon from 2005, right there. That came in a cereal box, kids. Alright, Bob Dylan. Got Bob Dylan Greatest Hits. I'm not crazy about Bob Dylan. I like a couple of his songs. A couple of his songs are good. Okay, now we're going way back into the 90s. Hootie and the Blowfish, Cracked Rearview. Now, in my opinion, Hootie and the Blowfish, now this was 1994. Of all the albums Hootie and the Blowfish made, in my book, this is the best one. And this was their first album. My mom used to play this album in her car all the time when I was a kid. Seriously, every time I listen to any song from this album, the first thing that pops into my head is going to Wonderland Pier back in the 90s and looking at the Man and Dog and all those rides back then. This whole album brings back memories when I listen to it, especially the song Time. What else is on here? Hannah Jane, Hold My Hand, Let Her Cry, Only Want to Be With You. All the songs from there. Here's another album that does the exact same thing, bringing back Wonderland memories, because my mom played it all the time. Tracy Chapman, New Beginning. I do like Tracy Chapman. I think she's got a great voice. I love her voice. I never knew she was a woman, to be honest with you. When I was a little kid, when I was like 3 or 4 years old, we'd play this. I always thought Tracy Chapman was a guy. And then one time I saw her on TV years later, and she came out, started singing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's a woman? I didn't even know that. I thought she was a guy singing. But then she started singing, and that voice that I remember, and I'm like, oh my god, that's Tracy Chapman, you know? So New Beginning, I love this. This is a great album. I love Tracy Chapman's voice. I love her lyrics. I love this album. I think it's great. That brings back a lot of memories for me. Here's another 90s album that brings back some memories. Alanis Morissette, Jagged Little Pill. There's another one. Every time my mom played this album, she had to turn it down when the curse words came on. because my sister and I, we were too little, and she would play this in her car, and she had to turn it down whenever the curse words would come on. But Alanis Morissette, Jagged Little Pill, love that album. I think it's great. That brings back a lot of memories for me too, when I was younger. And another 90s album, Shania Twain, Come On Over. My sister and I, we must have bought this album, I want to say 5 times over the last 20 years. We love every song on this album. Every song. In fact, we went to go see her in concert a couple of years ago, and we were this close to saying hi to her. She walked right by us, and she didn't see us. We were so close. But still, being that close to Shania Twain, I mean, we've been a fan of hers for 20 years. That was something. Now we're getting into the Eagles. I'm a huge Eagles fan. Not the football team. Well, who knows? Maybe they will win. I don't know. But the band. Eagles' Greatest Hits, 1971 to 1975. Yep, that's a great album, guys. That's so great. Hotel California, right there. Great album. My personal favorite Eagles album, The Long Run. Yeah, and if you guys watch the Eagles documentary, the 3-hour documentary, it's on Netflix, actually. Very good documentary if you're an Eagles fan. Even if you're not, give it a watch. It's really good. When they talked about making this album, because this was the last album they did for like 14, 15 years, because they did this album, then they went on tour, and then they broke up. Like within 2-3 years, they broke up after making this one. And this was the hardest album they ever made, and in my book, this is the best album. I know everybody loves Hotel California, but I love Hotel California. It's a masterpiece, but Long Run, I like that a little more. Alright, and then when we get to the reunion, Hell Freezes Over. This is great. This was the first Eagles album I ever heard when I was a little kid. My mom used to play this a lot. She's a big Eagles fan. She played this album a lot in her car too when we were little. Okay, now solo stuff from the Eagles. Don Henley, The End of the Innocents. I love... Don Henley's solo career was great. It was great. He was the only Eagle that really made it big. I mean, Glenn Frey had a few hits here and there, but Don Henley, everybody loves Don Henley. So right there, that's The End of the Innocents. Great album. I bought Glenn Frey's solo album, No Fun Allowed. I think this is really good. This was Glenn's first solo album after the Eagles broke up in 1980. I got this when I went to see the Eagles in concert in 2012. This was the band that opened for them. This is J.D. and the Straight Shot. The album's Midnight Run. It's interesting. You know, one of the songs on here, Midnight Run, which is the song, that song was actually in a movie called Lawless, which I did review on this show. It came out in 2012. It stars Shia LaBeouf. Yeah, where is he nowadays? And Tom Hardy. The movie was actually pretty good. I did think Lawless was good, but one of the songs on this from this band, this little known band, wrote a song, and the song ended up going in the movie. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, this album's pretty good. I think it's all right. Okay, now we get into The Lonely Island. Incredibad, Turtleneck and Chain, and Who Said We're Whack? The Whack album. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't think Saturday Night Live is funny anymore, but when these guys were on Saturday Night Live, it was funny. Yeah, these are the guys that made the digital shorts, Bleep in a Box, Bleep in My Pants, I'm on a Boat, all those great digital shorts that we all know. Those were great. They wrote songs, and the songs are funny too. Okay, man, there are a ton of CDs up here, guys. I mean a ton. Okay, another movie soundtrack. Well, technically a Broadway soundtrack. Godspell, and this is the original. This is the original from the 70s. This isn't the new cast or anything like that. This is another one that reminds me of going to Wonderland Pier when I was a little kid. My grandparents used to play this a lot in their car, so that brings back a lot of memories. 13. Do you guys know this Broadway show? I picked this up after making DVD copies of a show. Of a version of this, of a rendition, in Woodbury, in New Jersey, and and the show was pretty good. And I bought the album because I really liked the song. The songs are really good. This was a good Broadway show. It's not on Broadway anymore, but yeah. Okay, now this when I was in my youth group in high school, we had a guy that sang a couple of songs, and he was handing out CDs. And at my senior year of high school, when I was leaving my youth group, I actually got to meet the guy, and it was really nice. His name's Steve Angrisano. I don't know if you guys know about him. He does mainly religious songs about God and everything. I wouldn't call it Christian rock. I mean, like, but the songs are very uplifting. They're very good, and I love his voice. Like, seriously, guys, check his voice out. He's really good. Steve Angrisano. This is Songs from the Road. This is a live album. It's really good, actually. And he autographed it for me when I met him my senior year of high school when he came to our church. It was pretty cool meeting him. Because, you know, we listened to his voice all the time in the youth group, and then there he was my senior year. Like, all throughout high school, we were listening to him, and there he was. It was pretty cool to meet him. Yeah, so that's Songs from the Road from Steve Angrisano. And I also have a new album. Well, it's not new. It's been out for a while. I just bought this. Here's another one of his albums. This is called Welcome Home. This is really good. I just like his voice. I've always been a fan of his voice. Okay. The Police. I'm a big fan of The Police. This is the greatest hits. I don't have the studio albums. I could get the studio album. They only made 5 albums. That's it. Like, they weren't together for long. I'm not a big Sting fan. Like, really, I'm not crazy about him. I love Stewart Copeland, the drummer. For me, he makes The Police. I mean, I love Andy too, and Sting's okay. I'm not crazy about Sting's solo career. Like, I do like Fields of Gold, and I do like Brand New Day, but those are like the only songs I know. There's just something about his voice. He sounds better with Stewart and Andy. He just does. I can't explain it. So that's The Police, Every Breath You Take, the classics. This is the greatest hits album. Here are the songs. The Police is great. I might do a video about my favorite Police songs. I might do that. I was thinking about doing that last year. Okay, here we go. Fleetwood Mac time. Fleetwood Mac from 1975. The mega hit from 77, Rumors. I was thinking of doing a video on Rumors. Like, you can talk for hours about that album. It's just a masterpiece. Tusk from 1979. And I don't have Mirage or Tango in the Night, but I definitely will get those two, because Mirage has Hold Me, and Tango in the Night has Little Lies, which I think is a great song. Guys, I must have played Rumors over and over and over again, especially Dreams. I mean, like seriously, if you guys don't have Rumors, you need to listen to this album from beginning to end. I'm not kidding. You will not dislike one song on this album. All 11 songs on this album you're going to love. I'm not kidding. Like, it's very rare that I say I love every single song on an album. I haven't said that since, I want to say, maybe a Beatles album when I was 10. I just got Rumors last year. And I've been a Fleetwood Mac fan for a while, but I'm really starting to listen to all the songs, and I love Rumors. Favorite songs on here? I love them all, guys. I love The Chain. I love You Make Lovin' Fun, Oh Daddy, Gold Dust Woman, Dreams. I could play Dreams 100 times and never get tired of it. Go Your Own Way, Don't Stop, Never Going Back Again. It's great. The Fleetwood Mac album, I love Monday Morning, Crystal, Say You Love Me, Landslide. Oh my God, these guys did so many good songs. So that's my Fleetwood Mac collection for now. But I'm going to get Mirage and Tango in the Night. I'm definitely going to get those two. Because those 5 albums had the classic lineup of Stevie, Lindsay, Mick, John, and Christine. So definitely going to get those. Excuse me. Okay. Now, here's a big one. It's Michael Jackson time. We start with the Jackson 5 Christmas album. Now, for those of you who have seen the heavy-duty episode, The Christmas Tale Part 1, Yeah, this is where I got it from. I've had the album since then. I bought it. Well, really, I bought it so I could listen to it around Christmas time, but I wrote that into the end of the episode. Okay, here we go. Michael Jackson, Off the Wall from 1979. The album that everybody had, Thriller from 1982. Yep, that's a classic. That's a classic one. The album that I think is better than Thriller, Bad, 1987. I love every song on that album. I love every song on Thriller, too. I love every song on almost every Michael Jackson album. But yeah, this is Bad right here from 1987. We got Dangerous from 1991. We got History from 1995. We got Blood on the Dance Floor, 1997. We got Invincible from 2001. We got Number Ones from 2003. This was the first Michael Jackson album I ever got. And I'm going to tell you something right now. I was not a fan of him, and I've said this before on the show, I was not a fan of him when he was alive. The minute he died, because I barely knew any Michael Jackson songs. When he died, I started listening to his songs, and I became a fan. And I ended up getting all the CDs over the next few years because I just became a huge fan of his. I got a ton of Michael Jackson merchandise in my desk and in there and over there. I mean, I got the This Is It movie. I'm a huge Michael Jackson fan. Huge. So yeah, here's Number Ones. I consider Number Ones to be a studio album because it has One More Chance on it, which was a new song at the time. So therefore I count it as a studio album, even though it is technically Greatest Hits. But I do count that as a studio album because One More Chance is on it, and that was a new release at the time. So I count that as a studio album. Okay, now here come the posthumous releases. This Is It. Great movie. And this is the booklet, by the way. This is the actual booklet. I don't think they sell this anymore. But here's the booklet. You open it up. It's like that. And it has pictures in here from the movie, from the This Is It rehearsals when they were planning on doing the concerts. And it has 2 CDs. The one thing that I was kind of ticked off about was the fact that they just took the masters from the studio albums and put it on here. Like, why couldn't they just take the recording from the rehearsals and put it on here? That would have been so much better because the tunes sound a little different. It would have been a nice, unique thing because we have the studio releases and then we have the This Is It version. Like, Wanna Be Starting Something sounds like it's in a different key and it sounds good. The Way You Make Me Feel sounds good here, you know? But yeah, that's the way it is. And it's got some demos on it. Yeah, really good album. I really like it. Of course, the song This Is It is on here, which was a new song. So yeah, I love this. I love that. I think it's really, really good. The controversial one, the Michael album from 2010. I think most of this is him. I'm not entirely convinced all of it is him singing. I don't think Breaking News is him. I don't think Monster is him. And I don't think Keep Your Head Up is him. The rest of it is him. Like Best of Joy, that's him. I Can't Make It Another Day with Lenny Kravitz, that's him. Much Too Soon is definitely him. And Hold My Hand with Akon, yeah, definitely. That's definitely Michael Jackson. But, yeah, you know, at the time when this album came out, I didn't like this cover. To me, this cover kind of looked like a Greatest Hits album cover. You know, because it has like everything that he did, but as like a poster. And again, it kind of looks like the Dangerous album a little bit. I mean, seriously, have you ever looked at the Michael album and the Dangerous album side by side? Like, there's like a lot of stuff going on. It just looked very similar to me at the time. But over time, I got used to it. I do like it. It's good album art. It is. Okay, we're still going here. Bad 25. And the only reason I bought this album is because not only does it have the Bad album, but it also has new releases on disc too, which is demos and songs that did not make the Bad album cut in 87. So this has Streetwalker, Free, Price of Fame, I'm So Blue, Don't Be Messing Around, because they were new releases, they were new songs. even though most of them aren't finished. Well, some of them aren't finished, some of them are demos, but overall, they are really, really good, and I like them. So I only listened to disc 2 on here, because I already have the Bad album. So yeah, so that's that. And Escape from 2014. Yep. I'm going to give you a quick review. I like this. That would have been a good cover. This cover I'm not crazy about. It would have been fine if you had that as the album cover. Wouldn't that be better if that was the album cover? You know what? I'm going to do it like this. There we go. There we go. That's better. Quick review on this album, Escape. I love the original versions of these songs. I hate what the producers did for the 2014 versions. I hate it. I hate it. It's crap. Like, it would have been fine if he just took the songs that he did and released it that way. Because the original version for Loving You, fantastic. A Place With No Name, fantastic. Slave to the Rhythm, great. Escape, Blue Gangsta, Do You Know Where Your Children Are, they're great. Now, the only thing that I like that they beefed up was Love Never Felt So Good, because that's obviously a demo. But the one that they did, that one sounded okay. And I thought Escape, the new version of Escape, that sounds okay too. But the rest of them, why didn't you just leave the rest of them the way they are? They sound fine. Now, the good news is on this album, you get the 2014 versions that they did, and then you get the originals that Michael had. And I choose these. These are, I just skipped this. So, yeah, so that's Escape. When will the next Michael Jackson album come out? I don't know. I hope they release more, because he's got like that dude recorded like 30 songs every time he made an album. So I know there's more Michael Jackson songs out there. Just release them. Release them. We're waiting. Okay, here's Dane Cook, Retaliation. I do like Dane Cook. I think he's funny. Here's Harmful If Swallowed. That's hysterical. So that's all the Dane Cook stuff I have. Here's Hall & Oates, Greatest Hits. Like Hall & Oates. James Taylor, Greatest Hits. Love that album. Seth MacFarlane, Holiday for Swing. I got this as a Christmas gift. I barely play it. Okay, guys. Now, we're going to start getting into the Phil Collins stuff. I'm a huge Phil Collins fan. Here's the Greatest Hits. Right here. I don't have Face Value. I'm gonna get it. Here's Hello, I Must Be Going. Great album. Love it. No Jacket Required. Love it. But seriously, love that one the most. And Both Sides. Both Sides was really good. Okay. Now, we are gonna start, if I can find the, oh, there they are. They're over there. Okay, now we're going to start talking about one of my favorite bands of all time. Here's the Genesis collection. Now, if you've been watching this show, you know how much I love Genesis. Here's From Genesis to Revelations, 1969, their first album. Excuse me. Here's Trespass, 1970. Very good. Here's Nursery Crime, 1971. This was the album Phil Collins joined as the drummer, and Steve Hackett joined as well. Here's Foxtrot, great album, love it, from 72. Selling England by the Pound, from 73. The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, 1974. Peter Gabriel's last album with Genesis. Great album here, A Trick of the Tail, from 76. This is when Phil Collins started singing. This is good. That's a really good one. Wind and Withering. This was from 1976, I want to say. Yeah, 76. This was Steve Hackett's last album with Genesis, and then he left. And then there were three. That's a great album, and then there were three. This has Follow You, Follow Me on it. Many Too Many, Scenes from a Night's Dream. This is a great album. I love this. Yeah, this is when Genesis became a trio with Phil Collins, Mike Rutherford, and Tony Banks. And it stayed like that until the end, pretty much. Here's Duke from 1980. Here's Abacab, 1981. One of my favorites. I'll put these down. I'll get the rest of them. Here's the Genesis album, 1983. That's All, Home by the Sea, Mama. Great album. An even better album, Invisible Touch, 1986. Land of Confusion, Into Deep, Domino. Great. And We Can't Dance from 1991. In my opinion, this was the final Genesis album. I'm not getting Calling All Stations. Phil Collins wasn't there. Ray Wilson was. I don't like the Ray Wilson years, guys. I just don't. Like, for me, Genesis ended with We Can't Dance. Okay. This is a CD of Phil Collins and Mike Rutherford talking about Genesis while they're on tour in 1975, actually. So Peter had just left. Peter Gabriel had just left the band, so they're talking here on this. This is interesting. Rod Stewart, Greatest Hits. Maggie May, love that song. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the soundtrack, right there, all the songs. Queen, Greatest Hits. Queen's good. Foreigner, Greatest Hits. Love Foreigner. Love them. I've had this ever since I was 12 years old. The Bee Gees, Greatest Hits. 2 discs. This is great. And if you want to see what songs are on here, you could read that. You could pause it. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of tough. So those are all the songs there. Cats, original Broadway soundtrack. I love Cats. You guys know I love that show. I've loved the movie ever since I was a little kid. I talked about it in the childhood movies episode. The Book of Mormon, original Broadway recording. Haven't played that in a while. Soundtrack to Pulp Fiction, right here. The soundtrack to Django Unchained in here. Pixar's Greatest Hits. That's a good one. And in my book, the only good album from Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction. Yeah, 1987. This was good. That was a good one. So that's that. Now I've got a few other ones over here. Like I said, guys, this is a big collection. We're done all the ones up there, but I still got some down here. So, let me see. Okay. Alright, here's Neil Young, Prairie Wind, right there. I do like Neil Young. The best of Simon and Garfunkel. Love them. Love them. They're great. Great songs. I'm a big Yes fan. House of Blues, yes. And John Anderson is singing on here. This is AM Gold, 1971. These are like the big hits from 1971. This is a good album. I recommend this. I love the 1970s music. John Denver Greatest Hits. I've had this ever since I was a little kid. For those who saw the Man and Dog videos, John Denver plays a big part. Because half the songs that the Man and Dog do are John Denver songs. Here's another John Denver Greatest Hits. It's another one. The Sounds of Shenandoah. I got this when I was in West Virginia. These are like, this is like a peace CD. You play this, you hear like sounds of the forest and stuff. It's a relaxation CD. King Harvest, Dancing in the Moonlight. These guys were a one-hit wonder. Dancing in the Moonlight was like their only radio hit, but it's a good album. Alright, I'll put those down. Green Day, International Super Hits. I only bought this album because Time of Your Life was on it and I needed that song. And this was back when YouTube wasn't around yet. I've had this for a long, long time. I'm not crazy about Green Day, but I do like that song, Time of Your Life, which is the Seinfeld song at the end of Seinfeld. Here's another movie soundtrack, Muppets Most Wanted. I thought the movie was okay, but I liked the songs for Muppets Most Wanted. I thought the songs were pretty fun, a lot of fun. The very best of Lynyrd Skynyrd. Yeah. Isn't Freebird like the best guitar solo song you ever heard? It really is. Bob Dylan, Greatest Hits. This CD actually came with a DVD player that my dad bought back in like 2002. back when DVD players were like top notch. But I do like some of the songs on here. All I Really Want to Do is on here. Tangled Up in Blue, from Blood on the Tracks. Gotta Serve Somebody from Slow Train Coming. Gotta Serve Somebody's a great song. That's such a great song, man. Bob Dylan. I do like Bob Dylan, as I've said before, so that's that. These are CDs I got when I was in my youth group, like I mentioned earlier, from Wings. These are all the songs that we listened to when we were in Wings. So it's good, because when I hear some of these songs, it takes me back to those youth group days when I was in high school, going through those troubled times and stuff. Here's AM Gold 1970. So I have 1970 and 71. The Hangover soundtrack, the first one. American Hustle soundtrack. This is Irish Dance Rhythms. And by the way, for those of you who have seen my show Heavy Duty on YouTube, on this channel, Julianne Schaub, who played Julianne in the show, she went to Ireland and she got me this. I didn't even ask for it. She got this for me as a souvenir, and one of the songs on here, called Lift the Wings, I ended up using in the finale. In the scene when I throw the basketball, when I make it in the net at the very end of the show, that's the song I use. So yeah, that worked out. And Marvin Gaye, Greatest Hits. Marvin Gaye's great. We all love Marvin Gaye. All right, so that's that. I think that's about everything. Oh no, wait a minute. I got a few more. Oh boy, I have so many. Okay. Titanic, original soundtrack. This is an original release. You can see it's in bad shape. It's been cracked and thrown around. And yeah. We've had this since the movie came on video, actually. So for 20 years we've had this. Okay. There's that. Okay, here we go. Here's the rest of them. Here's George Winston, December. For those who don't know, George Winston's he's a pianist, and this is a great Christmas album. I play this every Christmas. It's just Christmas songs, but it's just him playing piano. There's no vocals. It's great. Okay, here's some of the Christmas albums we got. Here's Elvis Presley, Christmas. We got another Elvis Presley Christmas right here. This is 2 CDs here. Not crazy about this album anymore, but as a kid I liked it. Rosie O'Donnell Christmas. What else? We got a few more. I got a few more over here. Okay. This actually came in a cereal box, and I've had this for years. This is when the first Shrek movie came out, they made a Christmas CD. Right here. Shrek Christmas. I don't think you can buy this anymore. I don't think you can. I got this in a cereal box, and it's pretty good. A lot of dust around here, guys. Mariah Carey, Merry Christmas. Celine Dion, These Are Special Times. My mom's been playing this for 20 years. Like, this CD, it's got Christmas written all over it for me. I play this every Christmas whenever we're putting decorations up. Barry Manilow. I don't like Barry Manilow, but I do like this Christmas album. This was his 3rd Christmas album. I remember my mom got this when I was in the 4th grade, and she played it around the house when we were decorating for Christmas. My favorite song on this one is River. I must have played that song hundreds of times when I was like 9, 10 years old. I loved that song. But this is a good Christmas album. I do listen to that every year. I think it's good. And Jethro Tull, Songs from the Wood. Velvet Green's my favorite song on this album. Velvet Green is great. I love that song. I think that's about it. I'm trying to see if I have any more over here. Do I? Hang on, let me check. These are games. I'm not going to talk about those. Oh yeah, I got a few more. Here's a few more. This is the last of them. Frank Sinatra's Greatest Hits. This is good. That's a good one. Santana right here. I've had this since its original release, so I've had this for about 22, 23 years. The Toy Story soundtrack. This is an original release, by the way. Raising Sand, Robert Plant and Alison Krauss. This is a good collaboration album. This is good. That's a really good one. And the Grease soundtrack with John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John. That's the Grease soundtrack right there. I was going to get the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack because I love that movie so much, but I have the Bee Gees CD. That's really all I need. So that's about it, guys. I just cleared the whole desk behind me. That is the CD collection. I hope you guys enjoyed this. And now you know all the CDs I have. And maybe at some point I'll talk about my record collection, because I got a lot of records in here too. So maybe at some point later I'll do that. But until then, I will see you guys in the next review. Later.